Hey everyone, this is Mike. Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about the importance of goals and values and wanting your goals to be aligned with your values. So what are values? Well, in a previous video I talked about how we have a baseline of happiness, and if we fall below the baseline, that's usually because our thoughts are distorted. We have cognitive distortions like mind reading and fortune telling and catastrophizing. We have self-defeating beliefs like perfectionism and people pleasing. And we may have a pessimistic explanatory style. We just view things in a more pessimistic way. And those thoughts, and then the actions, if we have actions that are avoidant or distracting or self-sabotaging or even needy and dependent, those thoughts and behaviors and even images, we imagine the worst, those are going to pull us down below our baseline. And what we do is, by identifying and challenging those distortions and having a more optimistic way of looking at the world, having more realistic images, we cut the weights that pull us down and we go back to our baseline. Well, what if the baseline itself isn't high enough? We want to just raise the entire happiness baseline. Well, that's when we meet our needs. We have needs for love and belonging and power. And by power, I just mean feeling accomplished and successful and productive. Need for freedom, that we have choices and autonomy and independence. Need for fun. Survival, of course, physical survival. And then the need of meaning and purpose in life. And there may be other needs, but those are the main ones. And then we have the character strengths. And this is from positive psychology, where we have our values. Is kindness and generosity a value? Is justice and equity a value? Is perseverance an issue, a value? Is loyalty a value? Curiosity, creativity, those are values. And so first we have to determine what our values are, what's important to us. Love and belonging, or how important are people and connections, right? Power, being productive. Some people don't care about that. Some people need it. Freedom, free choice. Some people say, tell me what to do, just point me in a direction, I'm good. Other people, they bristle at any kind of restriction. So what we do with values is, once we identify a value, we say, okay, so what is your goal when you're having an adversity? What is your goal? And is your goal aligned to your value? So, for example, if you're having a problem at work with a supervisor, or in a marriage, in a relationship, and you feel like you're being disrespected, and your goal is to stand up for yourself and be very strong. Well, if your value is collaboration and cooperation, obviously being assertive is okay, right? But let's say you're aggressive. They're not going to tell me what to do. So if that's your goal, that's not aligned with your values. Or let's say one of your goals is generosity and kindness, and you're on a bus or on a subway, and someone that's disabled comes in, or someone that's maybe elderly, and you're tired, but you don't give up your seat. Well, your value is generosity and kindness, and in that moment you're not living up to it. Now, let's not get too rigid. If you're not feeling well and you feel like you need to sit down, we don't want to get too perfectionist in this. But the idea is that our goals, whatever the adversity is, we have a goal. Is our goal aligned with our values? Are our values aligned with our goals? So again, if you're having a discrepancy between with your partner, and you want them to see it your way, no, they have to see it my way. I'm not going to give in. Listen, I'm going to give them the silent treatment or something. Well, if your value is kindness and you're giving them the silent treatment, right? What you're doing, what you want, what your goals are not aligned with your values. If one of your values is again love and belonging and connection, let's say you work a full day and your friend calls you and you look at it and say, I don't want to answer the phone, I'm tired, I spent all day. But if your values are friendship and connection and belonging, you're not aligning with that value. Again, we all have moments when we need to take care of ourselves. So I'm looking for more of a pattern and consistency. From time to time, we need to take care of ourselves. Well, we need to take care of ourselves all the time. But part of taking care of ourselves is being in alignment with our values. It's okay for us to deviate from time to time if we're just feeling overwhelmed. We're human. We have that. But I do think there's really an importance to being aligned, having our goals and our values aligned. It gives us a direction. The other thing that you can do is when I'm doing cognitive behavioral therapy, I ask people to keep a thought record or a mood log. So let's say you're having a bad day, and I put down, what's causing the bad day? It's traffic. My supervisor gave me a bad review or something. That's the adversity, and it's causing some emotional upset. And then what were you thinking? Oh, I'm going to get fired. I can't stand this, right? And we have all of those negative thoughts, and then we look for the distortions, mind reading and fortune telling and catastrophizing, and we try to talk back. Where's the evidence for this? Is there counter evidence? What's an alternative possibility? Some of the techniques, what would I say to a friend? What does this say about me? Does it really go to mean I'm a bad person? So we look at those things. But there's a version of the mood log, what I call more like a positive mood log. Now, the positive mood log could be when you're having a good day. Write down, it's a good event, and how was I feeling? I was feeling happy, and I got a promotion. I was feeling happy, and what was I thinking? You'll notice with a positive mood log, your thoughts are different than with a negative mood log. The negative mood log probably has more distortions in it. Positive mood log is probably more objective and rational. So that's one version of a positive mood log. But another version is if you're using your values and character strengths, right? You're using your values of kindness and generosity. So here's the adversity, but it wouldn't be an adversity. It would be using your values of kindness, justice, creativity. Then how did you feel? Well, let's say you use your values and you didn't feel happy. Well, what's that about? Or what were you thinking? You gave up your seat to someone, you showed kindness, and you didn't feel good about it. And you thought, oh, here I go again, giving everyone else above myself. Well, that's interesting, right? Because you're using your values, you're applying them, but then your emotions and your thoughts are not congruent with those values. I think it's important to understand why, and so this could be an example of using a mood log to chart your value, the use of your values. And by the way, I would look for opportunities every day to use your values and what your strengths are, what your interests are. There was the movie, I forget the title of it. It was where Morgan Freeman played God, Evan Almighty or God Almighty. I forget the exact name of the title. But there was a part in the movie where I think he's talking to a waitress, and a waitress is praying, and God, although she doesn't know he's God, asks, what are you praying for? And I think she said patience. I want more patience. And Morgan Freeman as God says to her, do you think God just gives you patience? Or does he give you the opportunity to use patience? Every day we're being given the opportunity to use our strengths. Kindness, creativity, curiosity, justice, loyalty. We have opportunities probably every day. Do we take advantage of it? Do we use those opportunities to strengthen those values and those things that we say are important to us? The opportunity to have love and belonging, to connect with people. The opportunity to be productive. If being diligent and persevering and being productive is a value of yours, and then you procrastinate, wait a minute, what? It doesn't make sense. Now, my guess is it does make sense. There's probably a reason why you are. I think there's definitely a reason why you are. We just have to figure that out. But that mood log of saying, here's the problem. This goal, my goal is to not be procrastinating, and I want that goal to be aligned with my values, which is to be productive and persevere and diligent. And let's figure out what's going on here. So again, I just want to have this little video on the importance of having a clear goal and having the clear goal aligned with your values. Are your values feeding into your goal? Are they congruent? And maybe doing a mood log instead of the traditional mood log where there's an adversity or there's a problem, and you identify your negative thoughts and dispute them. Maybe you do a mood log on the application of your values, and how does that feel? Are you happy? Are you not? What are you thinking when you use your values? Are you thinking positively? Are there distortions? And trying to figure out why that is. Why, if you're using your strengths, maybe you're not as happy as you thought you would be. And what's that about? And to explore that and see what you come up with. So anyway, I hope you found this helpful, and I will see you next time. Thanks.